Welcome back to Look Movie Recaps. Today, we are going to recap a 2015 movie titled Even Lambs Have Teeth. Please be advised that there are spoilers ahead. The opening scene introduces us to two best friends, Katie and Sloane, who appear to be complete opposites of each other, with Katie being uptight and Sloane daring. We see them giggling at the prospect of starting a new life after graduating from college. They're excited at the prospect of working at Caulfield Organic Farms, which is located out of town, and have made plans to use their salary for shopping in New York. The following day, Katie's uncle Jason, who we presume is a police officer, picks them up to stay with him and his girlfriend Gemma before they depart for the farm. That night, Sloane suggests they come up with fake names to use for their stay in town. Sloane chooses Heather, and Katie decides on Ripley. The following day, Jason guides them to the bus station and in his extra cautious manner, instructs them to select a safe word to use in a daily coded text, ensuring their safety. The safe word was supposed to be changed alphabetically at the end of each text, and after agreeing to Apple as the code of the day, he leaves them. While waiting for the bus, which is expected in an hour, they head to the nearest cafe where they end up sharing a table with two guys. The girls introduce themselves with their fake names, while the guys introduce themselves as brothers, Jed and Lucas. They then go on to offer the girls a ride to the farm, to which Katie, who was hesitant at first, begrudgingly accepts due to Sloane's silent plea. However, the situation unexpectedly shifts when Jed purposefully bypasses the farm during their scheduled work hours, leaving the girls perplexed. He then transports them to their home, where a woman greets them, and their mother extends an invitation for tea. However, the girls find the woman to be somewhat mysterious. The boy's mother serves them pie and tea. After she receives a text from her uncle assuring him of their safety with a safe word, despite their suspicions and doubts. As soon as they consume the food, their vision blurs, prompting them to flee upon realizing they were under the influence of drugs. Sadly, the men who carry them into the house catch them and knock them unconscious. The men tie them up with chains to large containers in the middle of the woods, leaving them panicked as soon as they wake up. The following day, Jed approaches them and tells them that this is their new living arrangement, and he proceeds to give them basic amenities like soap, a bed, and a toilet. After dressing up, they meet Boris, a pimp. He then checks their phones to see if anyone else is concerned about their whereabouts. In the process, he realizes that they aren't who they claim to be and sees a message from Katie's uncle, in which he makes the mistake of sending Katie's uncle a follow-up text with Apple as the safe code, which the girls refuse to reveal to him had to be changed daily. He instructs the men to do so by having them take a shower with a makeshift shower outside. Mid-shower, the town sheriff, Sheriff Andrews, comes out with his gun, and the girls run to him in hopes of him saving them. Unknown to the unsuspecting girls, his entrance was just an act, which he later reveals with a laugh and proceeds to assault Katie. Despite being a man of the law, his disregard for the law is evident in situations like this as we witness the extent of his traumatizing Katie, who is left crying in her container until Sloane arrives to comfort her. On the other end of town, Jason notices that something's wrong due to the repetition of the safe word and informs his girlfriend about his fears. Jed and Lucas introduce another customer back in the woods. He picks Sloane and predictably reveals his psychotic side by setting her on fire in the trailer before the screen fades to black. Uncle Jason, who's still in his house, is seen making a call to the eco-organic field farms where the girls were supposed to be working, but it's revealed that the girls never showed up on the day they were supposed to. This confirms that there is a problem and the girls' safety is at risk, prompting Uncle Jason to immediately search for them. The situation in the woods is about to escalate with the girls' heads both covered and the next guy appearing sketchier than the last. Before he approaches, Jed and Lucas turn to cover their faces. He is seen wearing a pig mask and proceeds to pick Sloane up and put her into the trailer. Although we don't know what's going on inside, Sloane's reaction after his departure indicates that it was more distressing than the previous guy, prompting Katie to provide comfort. The next scene shows Uncle Jason face to face with the perverted sheriff who we saw assaulting the girls earlier. Here, we find out that Jason is not just a mere cop but an FBI agent. He tells the sheriff that he's convinced that the girls are in trouble and proceeds to tell him in detail about the daily code. This revelation makes the plot more interesting as the sheriff, being the loyal customer he is, reveals to Boris that Katie's uncle, who's an FBI agent, came looking for the girls and this was because Katie lied to him about the safe word. Not wanting to be caught up in their trafficking business, Boris gives the men the order to kill and dispose of the girls' bodies by dumping them where they dumped the others. Katie was eavesdropping unbeknownst to the men involved. While conducting a personal investigation, Jason visits a cafe near the location where he dropped the girls off and asks some questions. He asks the barista what he knows, and he proceeds to tell him in clear detail all he remembered about the girls and their encounter with the men, including the type of truck they left with. Back in the woods, Katie tells Sloane of the kidnappers' plan to kill them right before the kidnappers come in with the psycho guy, the second customer from earlier, and they leave him to watch the girls. Seeing that they're alone, Katie uses this opportunity to entrap him, and when she gets close enough, she uses her bare teeth to rip out his throat. She then takes the keys from him and utilizes them to liberate both herself and Sloane. From their shackles, just as fate would have it, the sheriff arrives in his official car, only to have Katie and Sloane steal it shortly after he exits. Alone in the woods, he comes in contact with the executed body, while Sloane and Katie, in the spirit of revenge, drive to a hardware store to stock up on ammunition. There, they ask the cashier, using his car as a description, for the location of Boris' house. In the meantime, Jason visits the insurance company to gather more details about the blue truck, as the barista's information provided only a single lead. At the insurance company, he fabricates a story to the two elderly ladies about his previous collision with the truck and his need to locate its owner. When an unsuspecting Boris returns home, he discovers that the girls have ambushed him. They have sneaked up on him, hurling tennis balls spiked with nails, causing serious injuries. With the tables turned and Boris tied to the table, he begins to beg for his life, even going so far as to offer money to pay them off. Jason pulls up at Boris' home at this point, while the girls are seen inside trying to get the identity of the man in the pig mask from Boris. He firmly refuses to reveal his identity, and the girls forcefully thrust a makeshift spear to punish him, leaving him struggling for his life. As Jason enters Boris' house and the girls exit, it's evident that he misses them deeply. As soon as he sees Boris struggling for his life, he hears the sound of a car engine going off, and after storming outside, he witnesses the girls' departure in Boris' truck. The next scene shows the sheriff informing Jason about Boris' death, which makes Jason worry more for the girls' safety. Out of worry, Jason tries to call the girls, but he hears Katie's ringtone from the sheriff, who pulls out his gun, realizing he has blown his cover. In the next scene, we see the girls in front of a church. It turns out that the pighead was none other than the town's priest. They go in, and Sloane faces her abuser. With Katie's help, they manage to knock out the priest. The girls leave the church in the car with a look of contentment and accomplishment. However, when they stop, it becomes clear that they have the priest chained to the car. They proceed to pour gasoline and punish him before driving off. The sheriff holds Jason captive, but the situation worsens when he manages to capture two more victims. Katie and Sloane, intent on exacting their revenge, seize the captives and rescue them before the sheriff could threaten them by hitting him with a bat. When the sheriff wakes up, they play Russian roulette with him, causing him great fear and making him plead and beg for his life until Katie finishes him with a shot. The girls free the new victims and ask them to free Jason, who, despite asking the victims about their saviors' identities, didn't get the answer he needed. In a spirit of retaliation, the girls arrive at the men's house, where they drug the men's mother in a manner similar to their. They then lead her to the basement where they force her to witness them strike Jed with a baseball bat. They continue the torture by taking her back up to a tied-up Lucas. They untie Lucas, give him a bat to beat his mother, which he refuses to do, and then proceed to shoot him dead. They set Lucas's death to look like a suicide as they already planned to blame him for all the deaths. Seeing this, the mother starts to beg for her life and even offers them money to spare her life, but Katie ends up viciously killing her with a lawnmower. With their revenge complete, the scene changes and we can see that some time has passed. Jason arrives at Katie's house to pick up the girls and take them to the airport for their trip to New York. Here, we witness Katie's mother filled with worry, asking Katie's uncle if she should be concerned. He responds, "They're smart girls, they'll be fine." Katie and Sloane are dropped off at the airport, full of excitement for their upcoming trip. In their excitement, they pass by a man holding a sign for organic farms, and the movie ends with him greeting two women. Thank you for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.